You're watching All Angles here on ENCA with me, Cindy Mabi. Thanks so much for staying with us. We go to this story now. Political rivalry continues to claim lives in KwaZulu-Natal, and the chairperson of the South African Local Government Association in that province, Thami Ntuli, says there's no solid action being taken to put an end to these killings. He says that most of the recommendations made by the Moerane Commission have not been implemented. And for more insight on political killings in KZN, we're joined by Zakhele Ndlovu, a political science lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Zakhele Ndlovu, good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Just how prevalent or how worse has the situation become since the Moerane Commission?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, I'm saying how far, has the situation worsened since the Moerane Commission in terms of political killings?
Oh, it has definitely worsened. We've seen more assassinations of councillors and the killing of municipal workers in the province. So clearly, there are no systems in place to put an end to these widespread assassinations. So I think Mr. Ntuli is correct to point out that not much has been done.
Yes, but I mean, how do you even police a crime like that? If there's a hit, there's a bounty on somebody's head, and it's not communicated by, obviously, those that are involved, it's a very difficult crime to police, would you say?
Oh, definitely. I cannot argue with that. But I think at the same time, if intelligence could be maybe beefed up, I think that it should address this problem, because clearly our crime intelligence in South Africa is very, very ineffective. So I think that if you could address that, I think it should be possible to solve many of these crimes that have gone unpunished.
Yes, and based on your experience and research, what is the root cause of it? Are we talking about political careerism? In other words, where the competition is eliminated through brutal force and somebody is targeted because of a political position? Is that the root cause of it all, or is there more?
Well, I think there's more to it, obviously. I think the first one is that we live in a country where there's high number of unskilled people. So for people to get a job, they then go into politics, and then this becomes a career. So there is that aspect to that. Many people, because they lack skills and they want to go up, have access to all the things that are good in life. We talk about upward social mobility. So because people want that, and we live in a very materialistic society, so there is pressure for people to get these positions because they pay well and they have a lot of benefits. And of course, it also opens up a lot of opportunities. So that's why we see people resorting to killing to permanently eliminate competition.
But having said that, once the competition has been eliminated, is there then a natural progression for whoever attacked this person to be appointed? I'm just not sure if I'm understanding you, that if you target your competition, you then guaranteed that you would be next in line, albeit that, the predecessor died under suspicious circumstances.
Well, it's not just a matter of individuals here. We're also talking about factions, that if we eliminate so and so from a particular faction, then someone from another faction can then replace that particular person. So it's very complex, and it's not easy to clearly identify individuals behind the plotting of these killings, because there are, I think, too many people involved. So it makes it quite difficult to point a finger at one individual.
Yes, and also talk to us about what Police Minister Bheki had once confirmed by his own admission, that it seems that in KZN, and I think it's Cleveland Hostel, that there is almost a culture, that the assassins are literally trained or even reared in that particular area. Isn't that part of the problem? The mere fact that we accept Uti Ngabi are prevalent in certain parts of KwaZulu-Natal, and they have access, or rather, they have a market or clients at their disposal.
Yeah, we're talking here about province in South Africa, which has a long history of violence, be it in the taxi industry, be it in politics, and just generally, we live in a very violent society, but more so here in KZN. I mean, we could trace this violence to the 1980s, the violence between the IFP and the UDF. So in the 80s, it was more inter-party violence. And then post-94, we see more intra-party. So there's this competition within a particular political party for people competing for positions. So it's no longer inter-party as we saw in the 1980s.
Yeah, but what kind of intervention would at least attempt to deal with the situation so that we don't accept it as being a norm? Is it electoral reform? Is it the way people are educated around political competition or positions even to be considered? What, in your view, would at least make a difference, slight difference in dealing with these political killings?
Yeah, I think this is a very good question that you are asking. I think there can be many interventions. I think definitely one of them would be to make sure that the people who are employed in our intelligence services are people who are highly qualified, who are competent, and also ensure that we put in place accountability mechanisms to make sure that people who commit these crimes are made to pay for them. So as long as we don't pay attention to those things, I think we're gonna see a continuation of these killings. And obviously, I think that because it is so easy to become an elected official in South Africa, I mean, we don't insist on merit-based systems, putting in place systems that encourage people who are qualified to run for public office. It doesn't have to be only education, but also even someone that has a sense of responsibility to be in these kinds of positions. I mean, President Bheki, former President Thami Ntuli has once complained about the fact that there are known criminals who are in positions of power in politics. And as long as we have things like that, I think that as a country, we are not going to put an end to this unfortunate, what you refer to sort of like as a norm. And we accept that people are going to get killed. It's quite sad.
Indeed. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. We're speaking there to Zakhele Ndlovu, who is a political science lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, talking about political rivalry and the fact that it's almost become acceptable for some to practice assassinations or eliminate their competition for political positions.